What is good, sick hunts and sexy senoritas? We are back on YouTube, and today the video is going to be something different to the usual workout videos, and it's going to be my top 5 tips for hard gainers. So, some of you may or may not know, I was actually really skinny when I started my bodybuilding journey. So for me, this is a great topic to cover for you guys because I have lots of experience and I have lots of knowledge in this field and in this realm of trying to put muscle mass on and, struggling to get the calories in, struggling to grow, because I have great genetics for shape, but not the best genetics to pack on muscle. So I've been in a lot of your guys' situations. So this might actually be aimed more towards the lads, but obviously the females as well who want to pack on size and want to put muscle mass on. This is aimed at you also, and you can incorporate a few of these different tips and a few of these different ideas into your daily structure and your training regime. But mainly it's going to be about calories, and it's going to be about food and how to get food in. So number 1 on my list is drinking calories. This is such an easy way to get calories in. A lot of people try and, if you're a hard gainer, your metabolism's on fire, so you can afford to, spill over those extra calories. You actually need to get those extra calories in to grow and to be in a surplus, because your body's burning, and you're not actually going to be growing any muscle because you think you're eating in a surplus and you're probably in a deficit most of the time. So a really good tip and a really good way to get calories in is to drink calories. So drinking your calories comes in different forms and various different ideas. One of my favorite ways when I was coming up and trying to pack on as much size as possible would be to make my own mass gain shakes, because I've tried all the different gainers, mass gainers and stuff like that, but they're filled with, just rubbish ingredients and not good optimal foods. So you can actually make your own mass gainer at home, full of nutrients, full of great foods, but I would obviously throw in 2 or 1 scoop of whey just to flavour it up a little bit. But a great idea is to throw in some oats, throw in some bananas, some fruits, some eggs. You can even throw in whole eggs to bump the calories up slightly. Anything that's like healthy fats, so like your nut butters, your Nutella, jam. You can even throw ice cream in there, bro, if you want to. There's so many ways of making 1,000+ calorie mass gainer without buying the cheap powders and stuff like that. So I suggest you stay away from the powders, even though I've done it myself. I highly recommend just buying a good whey, and putting the whey in the shake with the fruit and the oats and things of that nature. And that's going to bump the calories up quite a lot and allow you to get those extra calories in that you need in your day, along with your 4, 5, 6 meals. So that's number 1 on my list. Number 2 is focusing on compound lifts. So a lot of you guys, and I've done it myself and I've done it recently and in the past, is focusing on the fluff, the polishing exercises, the fancy, all the fancy stuff. And it's great as an additional tool and a polisher, but you have to be hitting those compounds. And from my experience, I did a 7 to 8 week off season in lockdown, which is nothing, it isn't long enough at all, but in that time I focused more on the compound movements, the flat presses, the dumbbell presses, the incline flies, the single arm rows, really heavy, like the barbell rows, things of that nature. It's allowing you to overload the muscle, and it's allowing you to break down the muscle and utilize different muscles in the body, and in turn you're going to put on more size overall. That being said, I'm not saying stay clear of all the different exercises and all angles and things like that, but you want to really focus when you're coming up as a young, bodybuilder in this game, or a girl who's into physique or anything, and you want to pack on as much size as possible, or you want to gain as much muscle as possible. you want to be focusing on compound movements. And I know it's something we've heard all before, but I feel like we stray away from that idea and we get lost in machines and we get lost in, you know, things of that nature. So always ground yourself and always remember you need to hit those compounds and you need to switch things up. So everything that you get told and stuff like that, you always need to be switching it up anyway. So sometimes, for the most part, you want to go in, you want to hit your compound first, do maybe 6-7 sets, build up to a heavy weight, and then you'll move on to, you know, your side raises, your things of that nature. But then in turn, you can do that for a block of 4 to 5, 6 weeks, and then you can switch and go to pre-exhausting the muscle, but still get your compounds in. So whichever way you want to do it, just ensure you are hitting heavy compound movements with perfect form. So moving on from that, number 3 is, I feel like this is very important because especially in today's social media age and Instagram and everything like that, I think young guys coming up who, you know, you want to pack on some size but you get caught up in Instagram and being shredded and being lean year round because you see guys like me absolutely diced and you're like, fuck, I want to be shredded too, bro. But you've got to remember, I wasn't always shredded. So the first few years of coming up, I mean, in my transformation, you can kind of see it a little bit, but I didn't take pictures when I had 2 years of a solid bulk because I wasn't happy with my physique. I hated the way I looked. I wasn't confident in my physique, so I took no pictures. I think I got 1 or 2 and I just deleted them. So yeah, you just want to be, you know, you don't want to get caught up in the Instagram thing where you've got to be, if you're deeper into this game and you're more advanced and you know you've got to stay lean, then yeah, track your calories, do a main gain phase or a maintenance phase where you're slowly upping your calories. But for the hard gainers and the young guys coming up, you want to really focus on getting the calories in, getting the volume in, and growing in the next 2, 3, 4 years because the time's going to pass, you're going to have packed on so much muscle, and when you come down at, say you start at 17, you do it for 3, 4 years, at 21 you'll look 10 times better than if you was doing cuts, bulks and trying to stay lean all year round like a fitness model or an Instagram, your favorite Instagram influencer. So don't always get caught up in the Instagram game and the social media thing because you want to, you know, you want to pack on mass and you want to pack on size, so you don't want to get too caught up in being shredded 24/7. So I think that's a common mistake that a lot of new guys make when coming up, and it's not your fault. It's being plugged in it's in your face. It's there all the time. You know, just don't get too caught up in it and focus on building your physique the best you can for you. So moving on from that, another one on my list, I think this is very important because this is to do with food as well. So it's eating calories that are easy to eat for you. So that could be different for every single person, but some really great examples of this are things that have lots of healthy fats in, because the healthy fats, in fats there's 9 calories per gram as opposed to protein and carbs which has 4. So you are actually getting more calories in turn, hence why pizzas, things of that nature have tons of calories, because the fat content in grams is way more than a lean chicken breast. So for you, if you're a hard gainer, you can afford to have, say, the 2 or the 3 cheat meals a week just to bump that actual, you know, surplus up over the course of the period of the week. Because if you're just eating clean all the time, you know, you're just getting a bit of rice in, cup of rice, chicken, it's like you're not going to put on some serious size that you need to. And everyone thinks they're eating enough, and you ask them, bro, how much are you eating? You know, 3,000 plus, and they tell you how much they're eating, and they're not even touching 3,000 calories, which isn't even that many calories anyway. Because some days, I remember when I was, you know, back in the day when I was bulking up, I'd be touching 5, 6, sometimes probably 7,000 calories. And maybe that was overkill at the time because I did gain a lot of fat on my midsection. So you need to kind of keep it in check. And if you can, it is better to track. But if you're just starting out and you don't want to, you know, it's a lot of stuff to do at once, as long as you're getting your structured meals in and you kind of know what you're having in terms of carbs, fats, protein, then you're going to be okay as long as you're training really hard. But I do recommend throwing in the things like the almond butters, the peanut butters, you know, the things like macadamia nut oil that can go on your chicken and salad that you're not even going to register that you've eaten it, because it's literally like eating nothing, and it's going to bump your calories up so much more. Another tip going back to the drinking calories would be later down the line when you've used a lot of your tools, say your peanuts, almond butters, your oils, things of that nature, and you feel like you can't really push the carbs anymore, like add more rice or sweet potatoes and stuff. You want to then start adding in orange juices, blueberry juices, anything like that. Maybe milkshakes and stuff like that. I used to have milkshakes back in the day. Anything that's really going to bump your calories up in an easy way and allow you to get it in without really being conscious of those calories. So you know you're going to be able to easily consume it. That's the main goal with trying to get in as many calories as possible. So last but not least on my list is something we've heard all before. So I'm going to throw two together because I feel like they're both as important as each other, and 5 is an aesthetic number and 6 isn't. So it's my top 5 hard gainer tips. So it is have patience and perfect your form. So they kind of go hand in hand, because a lot of guys want to get in, they want to rush, they want to jump the weight up, you know, they want to get to the big presses, they want to press 50 key dumbbells straight away. Bro, I'm doing 50s. So basically it's about having patience, and it's about slowly bringing that weight up over time, like slowly changing your physique over time, and having patience with it and perfecting your form and making sure your form is down, because that is the main thing: form, recovery, and being in a surplus. And how can you not grow? You know, if you're doing those things right, because you've got to see it as a triangle, a trifecta, bruh, and all the things come together like a structure. So it's like a jigsaw puzzle. So if you're getting one thing wrong, you know, you're gonna slack a little bit. So you have to have the trifecta. It's like Legend of Zelda, bro. You've got to have it. It's got to be on point. So make sure your form's correct. Make sure you've got patience. You're in it for the long run. And make sure you love what you do. A lot of people get into this because it's a bit of a trend and stuff like that, but you have to love it, and you have to wake up every day with a purpose, with a goal, and it's got to be exciting, it's got to be fun, because I don't see the point in doing something if you don't really enjoy it. Yes, there is suffering that comes with it down the line when you get to my level, but that's kind of fun too when you get to this level, because you enjoy the challenge. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed all of my top tips for hard gainers. I hope you learned something from this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.